Greetings, acolytes of the Inquisition. Evren here, and this time let us talk about Ogryns. You may be new to the ranks of the Inquisition, perhaps recently transferred from the service of a bold lore captain, one of the mighty rogue traders who push the boundaries of the Imperium forward. Let us not permit your lack of knowledge to stand in the way of success against the enemies of humanity. One of your companions appears to be an Ogryn, so allow me to give you a general overview of them. This will place you well above the common level of knowledge among the Imperium citizens, and there is nothing better than a broad foundation and scattered understanding of many topics to be one of the most effective servants of the God Emperor. Here is the knowledge you need to be a successful acolyte of the Inquisition. Ogryns are classified as Homo sapiens gigantus, subhuman mutants who are huge and powerful. They are often employed as shock troopers by the Imperium of Man. They serve within the Militarum Auxilia, the specialist division of the Astra Militarum that contains most of the subhuman units of the Imperial Guard. You may ask yourself, what is an subhuman, and why are they not hunted and purged like other mutants? An inquisitive mind is always at risk of dark influences. Yet you are an acolyte of the Inquisition, so you are permitted a small number of questions. Subhumans are defined as descendants of baseline human settlers, who mutated and adapted to extreme conditions after thousands of years of isolation on forgotten or lost colony worlds. These planets were settled many millennia before the founding of the Imperium of Man, during the Age of Technology. The Age of Strife that followed brought the collapse of humanity's first interstellar civilization, and left those isolated colonial populations behind. In the Imperium of Man, genetic deviation from the human baseline is often seen as a sign of spiritual corruption. Subhumans, however, have been deemed different. Because their genetic lines are stable, they show reproductive consistency and are no more prone to further mutations than baseline humans. Ogryns come from cold and barren prison planets found across the galaxy. Having been abandoned to their own fate, they adapted to survive. The higher gravity of their worlds made them larger, heavier, and bulkier, though this came at the cost of intellectual development. They have thick skin, immense muscle mass, and they stand between 2.5 to 3 meters tall, roughly 10 feet in common parlance. Harsh planetary conditions and frequent starvation shaped them through generations. Their mutation rewarded primitive survival instinct rather than complex thought. Some claim Ogryns are less intelligent than orcs, but this is an ignorant misunderstanding, caused by the similarity between Ogryn low Gothic speech patterns and certain orcish ones. A more accurate opinion is that their intellect did not atrophy, it simply became extremely focused on survival. Genes associated with psychic potential are entirely absent, likely due to this same evolutionary pressure. When Ogryns were rediscovered by the Imperium during the Great Crusade, the Imperial Army immediately saw their potential and began recruiting them as close combat troops. This proved easy, as they required little training. Most possessed natural fighting instincts capable of bringing down almost any foe. After the Dark Heresy, Astra Militarum officers discovered that Ogryns are extremely loyal once introduced to the Imperial Creed. They believe anything the leaders tell them and obey every order. In their minds, commands given by their officers originate from the beloved God Emperor himself. Conversely, Ogryns cannot understand complex tactics or detailed instructions, yet they are incredibly resilient, brutal, and direct. They prefer knuckle dusters and knives in close combat, and they are issued heavy auto shotguns known as Reaper guns for ranged engagements and frequent use as clubs. This is why their weapons must be extremely durable. Frag grenades are also popular among them. They are claustrophobic, so their deployment is slowed by the fact they can board a Chimera only when accompanied by the commanding officer and only half a squad at a time. Some Ogryns show slightly higher intellect than others. These individuals are eligible for the biochemical Ogryn neural enhancement procedure, known as bone. Their cerebral implants are sophisticated despite their crude appearance, and can withstand a remarkable amount of punishment, which is essential for any equipment assigned to an Ogryn. Enhanced Ogryns become known as boneheads and are placed in command of squads of unaugmented Ogryns, since they can understand more complex orders. One of your companions is expected to be one of these. Boneheads show glimmers of intelligence, problem-solving, memory, and personal initiative. After undergoing bone, they are even capable of remembering their own names, counting some of their fingers, and making tactical decisions that go beyond simple brute force. This is why they are allowed to hold limited authority. To other Ogryns, the fact that the bonehead can remember anything at all is sufficient proof of wisdom, and that they can be trusted. In combat, boneheads are effective leaders. They are stubborn and driven, and they never back down. They lead from the front, inspiring their squads with simple commands and bursts of weapon fire. Despite their usefulness, all Ogryns suffer from bouts of savagery. Some embrace this so completely that they forget the little training they received. They charge straight into battle and rival in melee. They stomp, tear, and crush the enemies of humanity with their hands, clubs, or whatever they can grab. These Ogryns are known as bulwarks. Fellow guardsmen view them as both a living bastion and a weapon of terrible destruction. Other Ogryns become gun-luggers. These are the most trigger-happy of their kind. They wield oversized heavy weapons and unleash storms of fire without much concern for accuracy. When they run out of ammunition, they throw explosives or use their enormous guns as makeshift melee weapons. There are other roles as well. Skullbreakers prefer to rely on their immense strength and delight in charging into the thickest part of the fight. Bullgryns are walking fortresses clad in custom carapace armor made from discarded tank plating. But the role most relevant to you, Acolyte, is the oath-bound bodyguard. These Ogryns swear to protect a high-ranking Imperial servant. They excel at this duty since they are loyal, determined, and extremely hard to kill. It is considered a great honor to have such a bodyguard, since Ogryns are a rare commodity in Astra Militarum regiments. Once an Ogryn forms this bond of fellowship, it is nearly unbreakable. Before closing this overview of the Ogryn subspecies, we must speak of a darker matter. Some of the forgotten Ogryn wards fell to their ruinous powers. Servants of Chaos forcefully conscripted Ogryns for their armies through crude surgery, sorcery, and forbidden combat drugs. These twisted creations are known as Ogryn brutes. Two types have been identified, the Berserker and the Plague One. Berserkers are lobotomized and kept docile until chemical injectors in their backs activate them. The drug turns them into raging psychopaths, although their internal organs quickly fail. Berserkers are expendable, used to inflict maximum damage before they collapse. Plague Ogryns are horrific creatures, gifted with the corrupt blessings of Nargo. They are bloated, diseased masses of mutation that are nearly impossible to kill. Their touch brings horrific death. Both horrors were seen during the Siege of Rax, a dark chapter in the history of the Segmentum Obscurus. The siege lasted 17 years, required 32 Astra Militarum regiments, and cost the lives of 14 million guardsmen. But that's a tale for another time. Acolyte, if you found this briefing useful, record your acknowledgement by activating the Purity Seal beneath this transmission. Those who subscribe to this archive of sanctioned knowledge strengthen the shield of humanity with every lesson learned. Return for further education, and together we shall continue to serve the God Emperor with unwavering resolve.